All right, guys. It's the decider match here of Group C. It's honestly the group that's the most up for grabs. It's been chaotic. It's been crazy. Kira in the bottom right side of the map. And who is going to join Solar in first place? Top left side, Hero is getting proxied immediately. Now, this looks like a single proxy Reaper, right, guys? Is this one where he tries to block the expand? Surely it's not Marauder, right? It's not Marauder into Factory, is it? Is it? I have no idea. It looks like the Marauder placement of a barracks. We're going to find out. It is. Okay, it's a one barracks Marauder. One barracks Marauder is very cute. I guess he builds a factory behind this as well, maybe? And then rallies Hellions in with Marauders? Maybe tries to get a bunker up. Hero's not scouting. Very greedy. Cybercore into Nexus. We'll see what he can do here. Massive thanks. Battlemage and Zogger both making massive contributions towards the tournament. You guys are so very generous. Thank you so much for the support. Holy moly. Thank you, those watching live, as well as those watching this later on the tubes. Dude, this is such a weird build, because, like, yeah, you get Marauders out early, but if Hero can get a battery up on that natural and doesn't lose the first Stalker, it can look terrible. And if you get the first Stalker and catch him off guard, it can look amazing. And I think it's going to look amazing here. Man, Hero, it's going to be a frustrating way to start this best of 5. It's going to be very frustrating. I think Hero's PVT, by the way, is off the charts. He's very, very smooth. Very smooth in his PVT. Still plays crazy styles. He'll randomly swap to warp gates and make DTs in your base. Pivot this way and that way. But he's going to lose his first Stalker, and that's a disaster. The Probe's going to fight. Does get a few little tazy attacks, and Hero's going to tap out. He is frustrated. Went for the greedy build. Cure counters it. It was only one barracks. I kind of feel like maybe he could have pulled probes and surrounded that, but you got to realize, guys, I think he had a sentry, so he had almost no damage output after losing that Stalker. GG, well played by Cure. All right, guys. Well, it looks like Cure there gets a lovely victory in game 1, an easy victory, a build order victory. And I was just saying, someone was saying, oh, it's game over here, a sentry, there's no way he can win that. And I was like, well, technically, if he gets a sick force field and somehow surrounds the Marauders with the probe and the force fields, like before the bunkers up, maybe. He did that once in the GSL finals to Cure a couple years ago in the energy recharge patch, and Cure looked very upset knowing that a build order win had kind of slipped away due to one of the best force fields we've ever seen. It was kind of like, imagine the Marauders were running in here and then the force field like trapped them in this little corner and like the probes surrounded them. It was such a rare force field that kind of popped the Marauders into this weird little corner. It was super dirty. Now, Hero's going to be a bit tilted, but remember, guys, Hero's superpower is he's basically untiltable. He is so powerful, man. When it comes to just being an unshakable beast, Hero is the man who can throw games in the craziest fashion. He can do the craziest thing. He can take the biggest gambles. He will reset and get back in the right mindset so quickly. He will go straight back into the focus mode. And that is what makes Hero great. Living in the moment. Him and Dark, I always say, they're superpowers. Both of them are two players who, they look frustrated. They shake their head. They look a little angry. 2 seconds later, they got a smile on their face and they're laughing. I think I love the Rainer quote where he cheesed the heck out of Hero in a game. And then he looked over thinking like, yeah, gotcha. Let's see how annoyed he is. And he sees Hero watching the replay laughing openly, just like, oh my God, like, look at how he got me. And Rainer was like, oh God, I've already like mentally lost this, haven't I? Here I am being like, yeah, I got you, boy. And Hero's just like, yeah, he got me good. You know, there's this pure joy of playing StarCraft that Hero embodies. And I think in this matchup, he's been pretty good recently. I think he falls off in the late game quite a bit. It's you know, as many players do, obviously, for quite a few seasons now. That's always the hard spot. Reactor into command center for Cure, so he's going to just defend that ramp with the Marines. And this was Cybercore before Nexus and in a very early probe. So very conservative opening for Hero. It's kind of a bummer because he's both super early probe harassed and he's gone Cybercore before Nexus. Both of this hurts your economy. And Cure's not going for a Reaper. Just Marine into Reactor. Much more kind of defensive economic focus for Cure. It's not like this is the difference between a command center first and of course an extra safe build, but it is still a slight advantage to Cure that will lead into his economic advantage. Pig, if we get an interview, can we ask him about the glasses? On for PVZ, off for PVT. Yeah, what the hell, guys? What the hell? Maybe they're just anti-glare glasses. Maybe they're not prescription. Dude, if he forgot to put his glasses on, that's hilarious. Hero's like, no, I don't need glasses. All these Terran look the same. They're just a bunch of blood and guts on the ground, man. Don't even need to see. They're all just blue units to click on, you know? Q is a very clever player in this matchup. We already saw him work his way through some dicey base tradey situations earlier today. Battery and Twilight Council, exceptionally safe. Guys, he saw a very normal 1-Rax expand, but he's gone for a shield battery and a sentry. Hero looking a little paranoid, not gonna lie. Gonna go hallucinate an Oracle, hopefully force a bit of a response while also scouting. Slightly slower than hallucinated Phoenix. He's like, okay, very standard setup. Starport, factory on attack, tech lab, so he knows it's a cyclone. The Oracle dancing around here. I mean, that's pretty obviously a hallucination, right? The timing alone is way too early, I think, to be an Oracle. But I guess Q hasn't scouted, so when he first saw it, he might have thought, oh, is this one base? Is a medevac on the way? Do we see a tank right afterwards? I don't know, man. Two gateways coming in right now. Warp gate's finished, so these Stalkers are building in just 14 seconds. I think the sort of push that it looked like Q was going for a second there definitely is really bad against 2 gateway production. So it's a good choice for him to just do light harassment here with the Marine drop, transition into the 3 barracks. And I think being greedy is the best way to play this season. Try to go light on siege tanks. Like, I actually want him to cancel that tank and lift the factory off maybe. Then again, he doesn't have a barracks to put on the tech lab, so he might as well build at least one. I think if a Protoss player, you can catch them being a bit more defensive, not making warp gates, you know, staying in gateway mode, taking a quick third. You want to kind of bypass the bunker if you can, skip the tank production, get straight to the stim, the bio, so you can get out there and start pressing, or go for your own third command center. Robo on the way here. If you guys have any other questions for Hero and Kua, start shouting them out now in the chat and be ready to repost those when we have the interview at the end of this. Sorry I didn't interview Solar. I probably should have. Just a bit chaotic running the tournament today. So we're just kind of zooming through the games. Stalkers clean up the Marine. That's the first scout for Kua, guys. Sees the third timing. He knows, okay, it's a pretty economic build. Kura, of course, is on 3 barracks. He's built 2 tanks. He's built a Raven. He's played pretty safe. I love this, by the way. The Raven comes along here. You catch it in this middle ground. Shoot it down. Kura is keeping the Raven at home for now. Robo Bay is on the way. Cornering Probes is here. Is there a 4th base up yet? The answer is no. Command center comes up. Why is Kua playing so defensive, I wonder? This is interesting. He builds the 3rd command center. What has he seen? Very little. He just doesn't want to mess around. I think, honestly, Kua might just play Turtle all game long. Just Turtle all the way to the finish line. We've seen Hero fall off a cliff of efficiency in late game against Beyond recently. Kua might have seen those games in the weekly cups and might want to replicate that. That's dangerous, though, giving this much map control to Hero, man. It's Hero, dude. Who knows what he's going to do with it? He might take a 4th base and go to 90 probes and then just swarm you. Yeah, look at this, double forge. He's like, dude, you're being so defensive. I'm just going to go double forge Colossus. I love it. I love this for Hero. Auto turret. 2 of them for 3 probes. Nothing too big. The battery really helping out there. 3rd command center is going to float down. The 4th and 5th barracks both about to finish. You can see the Stalkers moving forward to start harassing. Double forge comes up. I want to see that double chrono, baby. You know you want to give me that double chrono. Let's go. Command center floats towards the 3rd. Ooh, medevac in the open almost goes down. Stalkers are there. There's a depth that's shaded in behind the natural Marauders. Clean that up. Stalkers look for a Marine. They get 2 Marines and blink away. Really nice harassment. Ooh, unfortunately, he didn't have the money for +1 armor. There we go. He fixes it. All right, guys, we've got 3 gateways, 4th gateway building. Look at the savings right now. Hero's going double upgrades, splash damage off just 4 gate production. And if you non-stop produce off those, you can still make a giant army. Hero in PvT does this better than anyone in the world. He's so good at just like pumping out of these gateways, making a huge army. And if he hits a... Oh, did his second Colossus get supply blocked or not? Or something? I feel like he should already be finished on that second Colossus. It feels like maybe there was a delay there. Because I was going to say, if he hits a 3 Colossus timing on the 3rd, Kua will have a hard time defending that. That being said, this map is lockdown, and it does have some good ways of turtling up, these rocks being part of it. Hero's going to collapse these and break these down ahead of time, so we can push in here later. But you can see there's some pretty, like, big blockers on the front, where a wedge of tanks in the middle can defend your 3 base really well. Raven just chilling over here. Templar Archives is on the way. Ooh, Hero thinking about going Storm? Or do you think it's just Archons? We have seen a lot of Terran going much later Ghosts these days than they used to go. Ooh, Siege Tank goes down. That's really bad for Kua. Losing a Siege Tank this early is really rough, guys. Remember, the tanks are his artillery. They're his only unit besides the Vikings that outrange the Colossus. So he really needs those tanks shelling from the backline so that he can micro back and forwards without taking extra shots. Raven does manage to F2 home, which is nice. 1-1 upgrades are almost done. I think the Armory came in, yeah? Yeah, he's got the Armory. He's got the Ghost Academy, 2 starports. 4th Command Center is up super early as well. Nice usage of that. 59 workers to the 69. See what Hero can do to pick him apart. I like the idea of Hero just staying aggressive here. I think he should keep doing this. Poking in, poking out. Maybe just pull his Zealots behind the army. Just let the Stalker Colossus bait. He kind of wants the Zealots in the mix so they absorb tank shots. Since they aren't armored units, they take way less damage. Oh, he swapped warp gates, guys! 6 Zealots warping into the main base. Lovely 2-pronged aggression here for Hero. He says, all right, you got the cheesy victory in game 1. Let's see what you can do in game 2. He's going to dive on the front at the same time. The Colossus Stalkers all attacking the command center. Not a smooth engagement. Oh, this is a really bad engagement. Uh-oh. Sloppy there. If the Colossus was shift-clicking the SCVs during that, I think it's a different story, but he kills an engineering bay. What else did he kill, guys? He gets an engineering bay, gets a few workers. This Zealot in the natural is actually finding most of his economic damage here. Fortunately, it's not targeted. Marines will clean it up. Kua does struggle with the Twister. For those who don't know, the PvT Twister, it's where you hit the front with an army, run Zealots in from the natural, and you warp in the main at the same time. Essentially, you just kind of get the Terran tangled up with their multitasking. And it's really hard for Terran to kind of figure out exactly where you're committing your units and split up and micro them all correctly. And I think Hero did a really good job of slowing him down there. But Hero's not really miles ahead. Like, he's only on 74 workers. He doesn't have a 5th base. It still feels like he has to just commit to a big attack and send it. And I think he has to do it sooner rather than later. Because he's adding Archons, and as the Ghost count grows, they're going to EMP the Archons. If Hero can split up, his army will be much better against the EMP. Last time I saw Hero do a big timing attack, it was Fear and Faith, and he clumped his army for the EMP, and it really backfired. If he can split from 2 sides or spread out a little before he goes in, EMP is going to be much harder to pull off. Siege Tank getting some nice shots there. Already knocking off barriers on the Immortals. Oh, very nice move with the Marines. That Warp Prism does have speed, by the way. I love the movement. Stargate's on the way, so Hero's going to go for Tempest to try and siege him down. Force him out of his turtle shell. Stalker's there as well. Massive thanks, Max King. I was a fat kid. Hurley, Zogger. So many people supporting the prize, but we had such a slow start to this group. You guys are being absolute legends. Thank you very much, guys. I think we're above $7,000 on the prize pool now, which is absolutely awesome. Such a slow day, and then bam, when it rains, it pours. Thank you guys for supporting PigFest. All that money goes directly to the pro players. Zealots in the north. Marines getting jumped on. Medevac's going to pull back. Prism taking some really big damage. Raven Viking chasing after them. Ooh, Command Center Wall-Off is actually easy pickoffs. Just click it, Hero. He just clicks the Command Centers. They go down, and they both get killed. No cancels. Ooh, 600 minerals down the drain. Colossus goes down, but so do a bunch of Vikings. Nice hold position on those Stalkers there, Pharaoh. His Zealots do get cleaned up in the north. Units lost tab's not too bad, but I still think Hero is just a little inefficient on his income. His bases are mining out. Like, I kind of just wish he was like a little higher on income to do this, and I really wish he would do something to pick away at his opponent. Maybe disrupt his tower range? Maybe Tempest? He's going to go for the Tempest. Actually, is he just doing that for Mothership? What are you guys' thoughts on Mothership and PvT? I feel like if you've gone Colossus and he's got Heavy Viking, it's a complete waste of money. But here we go. Stalkers are trying to take out those Vikings. One Colossus goes down. Good retreating engagement for Hero. He's going to go for the Warp Prism rebuild. His 3-3 is really well timed. +3 attack just now starting for Kua. I to see some more Zealot run-bys, though. I really think Kyo's weakness is if you can get the Zealot run-bys in. But has Kyo overextended? I think he has. The random flanking Immortal comes in. What the heck? But all the Colossus have been taken out. He's trying to rebuild them, as well as Disruptors now with the Warp Prisms. So Hero's going to be forced to that next step. I really like the Mass Stalker Disruptor style with the DT run-bys. But Hero here, he's kind of going Disruptors now. What's he? I think he's just going to build Mothership because he's only got one Stargate. If they're going Tempest, normally they'll build a second Stargate. Q is just turtling up. Most Terran's not willing to be this patient and defensive, but I think it's a smart way to play. Hero wants action. He wants movement. He wants to out-multitask you. Prism does speed through the main base. Really nice having that Warp Prism speed. Zealots in there going to start to tear down turrets. And this is going to stretch out Q as multitasking. Really hard for Q to deal with. And look at the way Hero, he notices. He doesn't just A-move. He moves in, he moves out. He's trying to tax the attention of Q. But Q is splitting up the units was very good. Q is surviving on 66 workers. His command center's getting killed a few times is really big. It's slowing down him getting to mass orbital. This is a key moment where if you let the Terran just build 6 command centers on the front, they actually snowball to late game. Hero's slowing him down. He's going more Disruptors. He's going for the Mothership. I don't think Hero's going to use the Mothership in a frontal fight. I think he's going to fly it in the back and try to recall his army in the main, guys. Who's with me? I want to see that, man. The old Zest maneuver. There used to be a time where people had all sorts of solutions to late game, and I remember Zest refused to ever build anything but Zealot, Stalker, Colossus. And then if the game went for like 40 minutes, he's like, fine. He'd build a Mothership and he'd fly it in the Terran's main and recall his whole army there. Sometimes it backfires horribly. Like if they have range libs, they just siege the libs on you and kill you. But sometimes it wins the game, and it's always good fun. 3 command centers have died so far. Not bad. But Lib Range is coming in, +2 ship weapons. The upgrades are catching up for Terran, though Kua has forgotten his +3 armor. I worry that Hero doesn't really have a way of forcing trades, right? In this sort of game where they're totaled up, you guys know, I was talking on previous seasons, you can go build Cannon Battery outside their base, go for Tempest Storm and bait them in. But it's really hard to force a fight with this army. It's a bit too slow, you know? Too slow, doesn't have the range, except for the Disruptors. The Disruptors can actually poke and prod pretty well, but this map, it's really hard to break a turtle. At least he takes out a sensor tower. Any damage is good damage, right? You're just throwing Disruptor shots for it. Don't want to walk into those lib zones, though. He's got a 3rd Robo. I love the 3rd Robo. Plasma Shield's coming in. Try and pick off another command center. Let's get it. That one gets cancelled. Still loses 75 minerals, though, and a lot of the build time for these command centers. It's really tough to get those up. Where's the Mothership, guys? Mama! She's waiting. Yeah, she's going to go recall in the bottom side. Because his army's here, so he's going to recall on the bottom. It's a cute move. Disruptor's trying to poke forwards. The idea. There's an army down here. Mama's got to sneak by. Oh, he's just going to do the reposition. Okay, so he just repositions, warps in a few Stalkers, and he's just going to try and jump on this southern command center. Deny the 5th base. Kua scans. He's like, wait, where's your army? He sees that it's missing now. These units do come down. Kua's on his way to defend. Nice. Medevac snipe. Can he get the command center? That's the big question. The Disruptors. Balls, balls, balls. Cry havoc and let loose the balls of war. Let's get a few decent shots. The libs do siege up. The command center goes down. Denying the 5th. But where is the follow-up for Hero? Doesn't feel like he has one. So he's just going to keep mining. Has he transferred workers? He's been doing an okay job. Still a little oversaturated. I think he's done an okay job. I'd love to see 2 more gases, because a lot of players run out of gas. It's one thing no one's adjusted to on this patch. Every faction is kind of surprised because those gases run out a bit quicker. And I think we all kind of run into that gas shortage and go, oh, right, they changed the gas amount from 2250 to 2000. Doesn't seem like that much, but it just, you know, your main base, your natural base gas runs out and you're 1,000 gas lower than you'd normally be at that point. Stalkers taking out some libs. Great move. A couple Stalkers for a couple libs. Good trade. Disruptor shots. Not one-shotting Marauders in the center of the splash. Still feels wrong to me. I really wish they had made Disruptors have damage fall off. That would have been... Like, I think you can make them do less damage on the outside of their circle, but the inner circle should still do the old damage. It's crazy that they don't. For a 4 supply unit, anyway. Plasma shields are there. Coming in. Still just a mass gateway army. He's got a lot more gateways building. He's mining the corner, which is good. It's going to be such a slow game. Mining those corners out will be crucial. Against mass air, you need Psy Storm, I feel. He's going to recall down bottom. Oh, he gets a time warp on the army as well. He blinks on top. I love this move. But he's got to be careful when the army comes over. Psy Storm is the counter to Terran Air. 7 Vikings, 10 Libs, 10 Medevacs. Storm hits all those units. Storm has been, you know, it's low damage, but just a few High Templar. 3, 4 High Templar on a maxed out army. Very low supply commitment. And it's much like Banelings. You've got something that's very low supply but high potential damage. Having some of those mixed into your maxed army is just so essential. And I worry that because Hero's not done that, we're going to see one of these games where he gets caught out of position a little. The Libs siege on top of his army, EMPs blanket it, and he can't punish the Libs for all running around in one big clump. Whereas if you're running around the way he is and Terran's chasing you, you can drop a storm on the Libs as they siege a lot of the time, coming from surprising angles. And it's one of the best ways to chip away at this. Otherwise, I don't know if unkillable is the word I'd use, but that's definitely the word going through my head. Ghost Lib is a very hard army to beat. Still making Mass Stalker. He did a recall to the top side. He's left some units over here. 29 Stalkers, good for focusing planetaries, but without Storm, he can't stop the air units. That's where this late game always goes wrong. I don't think he's got him. Yeah, look at that. Where they siege, he can't take care of them all with the Stalkers. You need Storm to punish this sort of move. He doesn't have it. And this is Cua's moment. Cua's going to dive. Mummy goes down. Time Warp buys a little bit of time. But look at the way the Lib siege up. There's no answer to that Lib siege. And that's really, really scary. Obviously, Tempest could be good for chipping at it from far away as well. But those are usually the 2 late game answers to the heavy Lib Terran army. Every Disruptor's going to go down here. Oh no, so many. But actually, he didn't have a scan, so he did lose vision. Hero's losing a lot of economy here. The late game Terran army is beastly, guys. It is so strong. Kua turtled to this stage, played a very defensive game. And Hero got to a pretty decent mid game, but he just wasn't able to find a way to knock Kua out of this game. And this is going to be such a disastrous thing if he goes down 0-2. Best of 5, winning 3 games against Kua, nigh impossible. Colossus getting caught by Vikings. Oh, that is so tragic. They don't shoot up, of course. They are going to get shot down. I think Kua can he fall back to his main and defend? It looks like the answer is no, but there's not a lot of raw damage units here for Hero. Whereas that bio will tear apart all of his production and tech very quickly. Kurin getting in a sloppy base trade. Name a more iconic duo, guys. The army supply is shockingly close. Mothership's rebuilding in the bottom right corner. Hero still has gateways alive. Guys, he's losing his production. Libs are going to come up. The Stalkers can pick off a bunch. Kua's going to tap out. Wait, where's his army? Oh my god, bad caster Pig. He's still had his whole army here. I mean, it's a bad spot to be in because he's losing all of his production, but he's up in army supply. And then his air army flies up here and he just leaves. I mean, Hero still has production on the map, which is what's setting him up to be in the advantage after this. Oh, man. And Kira has no money in the bank as well. Dude, you know what? We've seen this so many times where, like, the Terran correct strategy is to turtle for even longer than you think. I thought pushing there was good. And it turns out the correct call is to just sit in your corner for another 10 minutes. It's like Kua played the turtle strat perfectly. And then he went, oh, let's move out and go kills. No, no, no. You meant to sit there for another 10 minutes. And this makes sure you're unkillable. Oh, man. If he had even a few libs on the ramp as well, he would have been in a good spot. That's crazy. He was trading really, really well. He was getting to that mass orbital count, but he needed to slow it down. He didn't have the bank. And if you lose your main production, you are completely screwed. Well played, dude. Hero gets a win from a position where it felt like he wasn't finding much value at all. GG, well played. All right, guys. Kura in the top left. Sorry for the bad commentary at the end of that game. Don't get me wrong. Kura was in a bit of a compromised position. I did not expect his production to get ransacked. I don't know why. I thought he would have a few libs and bio on top of the ramp when Hero got up there, because it felt like Hero's army took a while to get there. But I think Kua must have still been rallying to the front for a little bit. And maybe there's always that thing where if you're maxed in late game, suddenly your production becomes very vulnerable. Whereas when you're like 180 supply and you're still pumping tons of units, Protoss tries to push in and there's like, oh, there's 4 libs and friggin' 3 ghosts and 8 marauders on top of your ramp. And like, you ain't pushing up there. But yeah, sometimes I wish I had time to look at the replay, guys. We've got to keep the tournament moving for now, so we don't have time to go do a deep analysis. But I really appreciate you guys for being passionate. And shout out to Hero for just digging deep and getting it. Kua basically just needed to turtle for a lot longer, I believe, in that game. Sorry, guys. Just had to clear the throat there a little bit. But Hero, man, it's a good win for him that last game. Additionally, he is a bit of a menace in this matchup. I do think with the amount of map control Kua gave him in that last game, if Kua plays the same style, he's going to be in big trouble. This is a good map for turtling, though, in that your bases are very compact. Like, your first 5 bases are in a real tight formation, which can do really well. Zealot on the way here. Cancels it. But it's not got a probe on the natural to build a Nexus, guys. There is on 300 minerals. No probe on that natural. It's a funky opening from Hero. 21 Nexus after second pylon. So he's going to rally a Stalker across the map. And no, he's going Adept. Adepts take 6 seconds longer to build than Stalkers. What a bizarre opening for Hero. This is really funky, guys. So it's early probe harass, double pylon, low ground gateway to get an Adept across the map early. I mean, it's a cute build. I just feel like because they nerfed the Adept build speed, these guys just build too slowly. Which I really dislike it because it does make, you know, Stalker so much more attractive as an option. He's going to run into Marauders, and at least Adepts can shade away from those Marauders. They won't take bonus damage, and it will allow him to scout the Marauders before they get across the map. It's a 2 racks Marauder opening. I think Kua's going to go 3 racks Marauder with the old famous Stim Marauder move out. Such a cool build order from last season. Depp comes in, chases the SCV off this natural. He's going to shade out of there. You could just attack the Marauder. I mean, you still do damage to it. Not a lot, but you can still hit it. Reaper in the main. Unable to find any real purchase. He's got 2 probes so far, so not too bad. This other Adept's going to come back and trap him if he's not careful. And, oh, can he escape? Oh, nice grenade. He's dead though, right? Surely. Unless there's a ledge nearby, which you could jump up to break the shade. Oh, actually the regen. The regen. Oh, and he's going to get away. Very nicely done. A few Marauders coming forward as well. There is no shield battery. It's just 2 Adepts, a Stalker, and a very delayed Stargate. Reactive to, of course, the barracks. Problem with going Stargate here, guys, is that's going to delay your answer to the Stim Marine Marauder move out. Oh, my lord. He does cancel the shade just in time. He's got to pull these Adepts backwards. I think he's going to try and shade backwards, maybe? No, he's going to shade forwards for the scouting. Oracle's on the way. I think we'll see a Blink follow-up to this, so I expect a Twilight Council soon. Hero is up about 6 probes. Adept Stalker's trying to move forwards as well. Ooh, Marauder's taking big damage. 1 Stalker goes down. But dude, just trying to fight this out front like this is a little crazy. He's got Warp Gate now. These Stalkers will build really quickly. Accidentally attacks his own pylon. And now it turns really good for Hero. Cure with the overcommit, guys. Oh, I'm looking at his face right now. I'm looking for that reaction on his camera. Doesn't get the Stalker, of course. 0 reaction. Cool as a cucumber, man. Be pretty frustrated if I was him. That Oracle gets in the main and kills 4 or 5 workers. Q is kind of dead in the water. No Twilight. It's actually a second Oracle and Zealot's building. Dude, Hero is such a weirdo. I love it. Who builds a random slow Zealot here? Only Hero. Hero's like, I need a Zealot, man. Does he have charge? No. Just like a slow Zealot walk across the map. Let's go, man. Oracle in the main, Adept Stalker in the natural. Dude, really well played here by Hero. The Oracle's going to pull away on the left. The Adept on the right side does go down. These Oracles going to pull back as well. Dude, that's crazy. Foxer in the chat, a high-level Terran, says, I've never had success with that move out at any point ever. Dude, I know. I feel like it's the worst thing ever, proxy, like the Marauder openings. But I see Beyond and Cure pull it off a bunch. Every time I've tried it, it just falls flat and does nothing. And I'm like, look at this terrible units lost time. This is awful. But these guys have really decent results with it. It does create an odd situation. I think it takes like a lot of experience to navigate it, and it kind of works within a certain meta. Oracle's trying to pull back. Third Nexus is there as well. No, it's one of these builds that I absolutely hate and think is garbage unless a pro gamer's playing it, and then I hesitantly go, I guess this is good. You guys seem to know how to make this work, but man, it's really hard to make work for most players. Going straight to 4 gateways, that's a ton of production, so he's going to be able to mass units out of that. Third base, not that quick, and he's actually cutting probes to get an early forge as well, but there we go. Probe production will now resume for Hero, and obviously he's trying to get the production for a very good reason, guys. He sees 3 barracks, he does not want to get overwhelmed. He's going Blink Stalker though, and his army is a little bit of a hodgepodge, 1 Zealot, 1 Sentry. The Oracles are going to give so much vision, and that's what makes this really hard for Cure. The Oracles can just kind of see everything that he's up to. +1, Blink, chronoing the probes, I think is a genius idea. Absolutely the correct call. And he's going to build more sentries. Oh, Hero. So confident with that hybrid army. You can split the army with Sentry Stalker. It can be good. The problem with sentries here is you're delaying your tech to build sentries. So if you build more than, say, 3, and he's only at 2 right now, so it is fine. But if he builds like 3 or 4, 5 or 6, which, yeah, he's building 2 more, so he's committing. There is a point where, like, the medevacs are out. Top Terrans are really good at scooping up units and saving them from force fields. The Terran multi-drops you. The force fields aren't very effective at dealing with drop. Sentries are kind of slow, you know? And your splash damage might be a little bit late. So obviously, it's just 4 sentries for now. Nothing too crazy, but he is consciously slowing down everything to do that. The Stalker's going for a bit of a counterattack here. Trying to throw stasis traps. This is a little bit slow to chase this army down. He will find a Marauder. Don't blink forward, Hero. Blink away. Good discipline by Hero. I've seen Hero blink forward in situations like that before. You guys remember when Clem first started playing Protoss? He'd see a Marauder, he'd always blink on it, and there'd be like 8 more Marauders just out of vision, and they'd stim and feast. I kind of miss that version of Clem's Protoss. That was a really fun couple of months. Where Clem would be like, just marauding, owning his opponent with multi-prong, and then he'd be like, quick, I must stim into the Widowmine Marauder, and you're like, or blink into it, and you're like, no! Force fields! Oh, brilliant force fields, man. And he goes for the pickup, but it's a trap. Oh, man. Kua just got Admiral Akbar, man. Oh, he goes for the pickup. And Hero's like, lol, I wanted you to do that. Blinks forward, focuses down the full medevac that goes for the rescue mission. And that's what the Sentry Stalker is all about. So let's ask the question I was asking earlier, guys. Will it be worth delaying your splash damage? Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, almost 2-to-1 in the trading. Both Oracles are still alive. 1 Oracle is still alive. Quick correction. Marine Marauders running around the middle of the map. Robo Bays coming in as well. Stalker's still forcing stims and picking off units. The medevacs are so low on juice. Kua just not really getting much going here. He wants to play a more mobile game. He doesn't want to just turtle. Widowmine does clean up the second Oracle. No Oracles left. That's good. Widowmine's here. Watch out for those Widowmine shots. The Zealots do not have speed yet. The Stalker Sentry just man-moding this. Hero trying to all-out war this. Remember, he's only on 4 gateways, guys. But he's making a pretty massive army out of those gateways. And a 4th Nexus comes up. The minerals he's saving, remember? Old style, you'd go 8 gateways here. Hero, by not making warp gates, saves 100 minerals, 100 gas for 4 gateways. 200 minerals, 200 gas if he transformed 8 gateways into warp gates, right? On this patch. But it's also the fact that he saved 4 gateways. If he went 8 gateways, that would have been 600 more minerals on those gateways. Would have been crazy. Nice micro for Cure. Kept retargeting, so we had to give him only 1 target to force it to fire. Couple Zealots warping in. And these pylons are really good. I want to see more people doing this, guys. Pylons just sending Zealot run-bys in constantly from the edges. Because you don't need a warp prism. Pylons warp in just 4 seconds now. It's really good. Oh, damn. You don't know about Admiral Akbar? Holy moly. I guess that movie did come out like 50 years ago now. Like, well before I was born. So, I guess I can forgive people not knowing. Actually, that was Return of the Jedi. That didn't come out till the 80s. That was probably only 5 years before I was born, right? Stalker's going to be blinking back. Was it 83? 84? When did Return of the Jedi come out? Stalker's rotating around. 1 Colossus, second one on the way. Disruptor as well. The double Robo's looking really good right now. Stalker's blinking to the right side. 4 probes building at a time. Hero's got control of this game, but the Stalker's on move command for a moment, and the blink was not quite ready. The Ghosts are now here. Q's got a 4th command center building. Right now, the upgrades are even. But 2-2 started. The gateways are all transforming. Love to see that from Hero. Transforming all of those gateways. He's going to be ready to do those forward warp-ins. But he doesn't have a warp prism yet, so he can't do it in the main. I feel like that would make this so hard for Q. Nice bunker on the left. I was going to say a few Zealots here could be effective if he doesn't have a bunker. Remember, the Colossus do a little more damage versus non-light units now. 12. It used to only be 10 times 2 for those laser beams. So a bit better against the Marauders than they were last season. Something we often forget. No siege tanks. Siege tanks are there for surviving the early game. At this stage, you want Vikings to deal with Colossus. Siege tanks very immobile, and they do very little damage to Zealots and Archons. So, if you commit to tanks, you're kind of stuck just turtling. So to be fair, Q is kind of playing a turtle style anyway as Hero dives. The Disruptor zoning is so good. But Q pulls back into his natural in the top really well. Beautiful dodges on the Disruptors. The Vikings are getting shot down though. Great micro for Hero as well. I think Q handled that so well. Still down 1,500 resources though. And Hero's taking the corner base. I love it. Hero's already thinking about mining these corners out. Hero, dude, I'm telling you, he looks so good in this matchup, man. Disruptor goes north, takes out a bunch of those Marauders. The Zealot Stalker Colossus is actually doing really, really well. And I think Q is just chasing into Disruptors right now. When you chase into Disruptors, it very rarely goes well for the Terran. Another Disruptor goes out. Oh, Ghost getting caught by it. The Zealot Stalker picking him apart. Hero, what a great fighting retreat this is, guys. That is not what Terran wants to be attacking into. Just chasing into the Disruptors. It's so hard to not clump into that. That is really rough. Zealot Stalker, Disruptor coming forwards. He can get Disruptor shots in the mineral line. He's got nowhere to dodge. He has to lift his command center. Zealots hitting the natural to the north as well. They do all come back, and Cure is going to have to tap out. Hero here marauding in this matchup, looking so good. GG, well played. All right, guys. Cure in the top right side of the map. Hero in the bottom left. And you can just see how good Hero is in this matchup. It's I think you guys might be wondering, why is Cure being so defensive in some scenarios and that sort of stuff? Hero is so good at slapping down aggression on this patch and just dominating the map. And when he has map control, Hero is a scary beast to be reckoned with. I really wonder what Q is going to pull out here and kind of get going in this matchup. Because, you know, it's so interesting. This matchup, it really depends on who's playing against who right now. Some players, oh, you know, it's really hard for Protoss. Other players, it's really hard for Terran. I think it's so much in flux on this patch. People trying to figure out how to play, struggling really hard, and really just not knowing what the best thing is to do in different scenarios. Certain things are probably overpowered this way and that way. Who's going to be the best at utilizing? This is a gasless 1-Rax expand for Cure. That's so cool. No, it's not. Never mind. I thought it was gasless for a second because he's had an extra SCV queued up. So is this like a defensive Marauder build? So that's why he's gone delayed gas, maybe? I'm not sure. Because it's definitely not a Reaper build. Not going to have the gas in time. No Scout for Hero. Very greedy build for him. Ooh. Cybercore before Nexus? No! Blind Nexus before Core. I love it. I love the greed. Hero's up a game. He says there's no way you proxy Marauder me again. Very nicely played. So it's Marine into Command Center, and then maybe straight to Factory Reactor. Not a bad build order. He will SCV Scout now. What an interesting match this could turn into. I think for Cure, I mean, we're seeing Heroes not doing 3-gate blink aggression, right? I think for Cure, skip on the tanks and the Ravens, be greedy, and get to that stim a bit earlier, but stim and medivacs, you know, not just 3-rack stim. Well, you've got that clear weakness against like force fields and things like that with the massive bio army. Curious how it goes. He's gone reactor into factory, purely defensive build, no Reapers here. I like the build. It's quite efficient what Q is going for. All off one gas. I really hate the double gas builds in this matchup. I think they're pretty inefficient. The ones where you start with 2 gas before command center. And if you skip the Reaper, you can still get a lot of tech with this. So a bit more economic for him. Of course, unfortunately for him, his economic build is facing the greediest build you can do. Hero, Stalker, Sentry, Nexus before Core, no Scout. And his first Scout will be when this Sentry pops out. He's going to energy recharge the Sentry. See, he hits 50 energy, Sentry pops out, energy recharges it, instant hallucination goes across the map. And this is, of course, Hero's first scouting in this game. Well, let's see what he can do, man. All right, Barracks Factory Starport's up. Command Center is building as well. Hallucinated Phoenix is coming forwards. rotate through the main base. Starport's 2/3 of the way done. Factory's almost finished as well. Blink comes up. Second gateway is there. Solid build order for Hero. I'd love to see Kua go for a quick second and third barracks and not really overcommit to any sort of early harass. Looks like a Banshee build to me. We'll see if it's Raven or not. And it is indeed Banshee. Marines are going to try and intercept the next hallucination if it comes on this path. 75 energy. He's got that hallucination available. We'll see if he goes for it. Robo's on the way. So this is 2-base Blink, 2-gate Robo. 2-gate used to always feel like it was a little light on unit production, but with the warp gate change, it feels like there's no way Terran can get you with the 2-base push if you non-stop pump from those 2 gateways. It's just such a crazy amount of production. It's going to send a hallucination. The Marines are really wanting to intercept this, because if that sees Cloak, which I think it will, yeah, I don't think that flies over these Marines, does it? Oh, the Marines even pull away just as it comes in. And obviously that could be a Raven with a fake upgrade. Doesn't know. Tanks coming out as well. Stalkers and Sentry moving forwards. It's going to go for a 4th gas. Okay, very tech-heavy 2-base play for Hero. Imagine we'll see a Robo base shortly. He's going to build a battery in the main, so a single Banshee can't do much damage. Stalkers are chewing up so much gas, and it's delaying his Robo Bay a lot. He's just chronoed his Twilight, even though he's already got Blink finished, so interesting choice there. Banshee's going to float into the main. The Observer's building. It's not quite ready here at home. And Banshee does respect the Stalkers. He has no idea how far away that Observer is, so he's going to pull away. Oh, look at this, guys. Nice micro. I love the way the Stalkers are lined up so they can all one-shot. Very hard to do that. The tanks outrange the Stalkers, so you kind of want the tanks closer to the front. It's going to use the high ground over here. Oh, and the Stalkers actually blink in. Dude, Hero's such a Chad. What a mad lad. Banshee comes in from the left, but there's batteries all at home, man. So the Banshees can't really find anything, and feels like Hero right now is running circles around Kua. How many Marines has he picked off? 6 Marines for just 1 probe so far this game. Banshee's hanging over here on the edge of the planet. Swear this map was inspired by like Farah Missoula or something, right? Like, what is going on over here, man? Very cool. Banshee hitting the pylon on that side. These Stalkers come in, but the tanks are at home now. Q has pulled back. He's dropped a 3rd command center, and he's just going to go for that more standard follow-up. 4th and 5th barracks coming in very early for him as well. Let me try and power a little bit. Stalkers backing away. So far, Hero's looking good in terms of not taking damage, but he's been on 4 gas for a while, and he's not built a significant tech advantage. Like, he's going Robo Bay only now. What he's built is Sentries, Immortals, extra Stalkers. Still a pretty good army, but these units won't scale too well to the late game, so they're more of mid-game units. Hero's going to look for fights in the mid-game, look for pickoffs, and Kua is going to look to deny that. But it already feels claustrophobic for Kua, doesn't it, guys? It feels like he's stuck in his corner, and there's not much he can do to get out. Who knows, maybe he moves out with a big Stim Shields push and does roam the map, but I don't know. There's Sentries, there's Immortals. Double Robo Colossus is going to head to a very fast 3 or 4 Colossus timing. It does feel like Hero is really taking control. Now, double Forge and double Robo, he does not have the gas for that, unless he swaps to full Zealot, which I guess he's going to do now anyway. He has charge. And I guess, yeah, it's probably just going to be only Zealots from this point. He's on 2 gateways, and notice only after getting all that tech does he take a 3rd and 4th gateway and then a 4th Nexus. It's the low gateway count here, while actually having a big standing army off just 2 gateways. This is absolutely how you play TVP on this patch. And Hero is so far ahead of the meta compared to just about anyone else, I think. I haven't seen anyone else look quite as good with him with the new changes as him. Feels like he's really figured it out in PvT. You can see because he's building Colossus, upgrades, probes, Nexus, adding a cannon. This is so expensive, he can't even afford to produce out of his gateways very often. It's going to start up now, but he does hit a little supply block. Obviously, these pylons coming in will help with that. And I think because when you're staying on gateways, it's so important to be worried about drops. You got to build pylons all along the edges so you don't get surprised. Otherwise, drops can be really hard. And that's why you also want to have quite a few gateways in your main. because you want to protect your tech there. So you want units popping in your main where they can defend Ling run bys and drops in your main as well. Now Q is accepting this turtle position. He's got pretty damn good turtle play. I mean, Q is absolutely just choosing to play late game, guys. He's just playing super patient. He just feels like turtling is the best. I'd say my issue with the way Q plays late game in this matchup is I actually think if he played siege tank production, it might be better. I know it's a bit of a weird call, but like TY, when he chose to play Super Turtle TVP, would just non-stop building tanks back in the day. And you can't really be aggressive with it, but I love just getting up to 5, 6 siege tanks. You just got a few more, because if these siege tanks stay alive, they really punish a Protoss that wants to like poke in and out constantly. And I think keeping those tanks alive is key. One of the weaknesses I've seen from Cure is sometimes he leaves a tank exposed on the front, and his bio is a bit too far back. I'd like to see his bio in front of the siege tank so the Zealots can't charge on top. Command Center is exposed. All great force fields. 3 Marauders and a Marine get taken out. The Widow Mine as well. SCV building the Command Center goes down. I feel like Terrans have to stop building Command Centers on the front against Hero, guys. It's giving him an easy target. Nice Zealot drop comes in, gets a few SCVs, goes for the turret, can't quite take it out because the depot blocking. Viking does clear the Warp Prism. +2 attack is actually ahead for Cure compared to the 1-1 of Protoss. Missile turret does go down. Hopefully Cure remembers to replace those, otherwise he could be in trouble later on. Top side is also wide open. Prism starts to rebuild. And look at this. Hero's just like identifying now as the series goes on. Oh, you're just going to turtle. You're just going to sit there. And he's already building a Stargate. Now, I would love to see like Storm, Cannons, Tempests. But even if he just goes Mothership again and starts doing that recall maneuver, we saw that could be pretty annoying for Cure to deal with. Tank and a Sensor Tower goes down. Only 1 tank, 1 Banshee, 1 Sensor Tower. Not too bad. Where is the closest observer? Just there. That Banshee's going to fall. Needs to keep these tanks alive. Bio runs forward. Good spreadies for Cure. Does get clipped by those units, but only clipped. It's good defense. Stargate comes up. 2-2s on the way here as well for Hero. I love that he's going into Disruptors already because I think they give you such long-range ability to pick at your opponent. Like, you can come up here and just drop 4 Disruptors, blow that bunker and depot up, and kind of work your way into areas where it's harder to pick out with Colossus. Alright, Colossus Stalker Immortal comes forward, clears a few of the siege tanks. Nice Disruptor shots. Does lose an Immortal. And at the same time, Prism Drop comes in. He never replaced that turret, guys. That Zealot Drop's going to do big damage. At the same time, he's just trying to distract on the front. And he's going to get a Zealot Warp in the main. Oh no. Cure already losing 10 SCVs. Same time, he's got to keep dodging Disruptors at the front. Hero is just trying to tax his multitasking. He knows Cure can't do that. And also Micro in the main at the same time. The Twister is getting big damage done. His rally's getting torn apart. He's lost 22 workers. And that's always the weakness here. When you're playing these Turtle Stars, especially when you move out to take a 4th, so hard to defend the 3rd and the Prism at the same time. Hero is so good at taking advantage of that. Really well played. Massive economic damage. And now Hero on 73 probes. He's adding gases, Mothership. A few more Immortals are getting mixed in. Immortals really good for busting planetaries. Tempests are actually the best for blowing up planetaries because they get 80 damage a shot versus buildings once they get their upgrade. Same as a Bane. Ooh, good dive for Cure. Gets a few Disruptors, but does he go too deep? Maybe. He's got Vikings from the side. Marauders coming in as well. Damn, that was a really good fight for Cure. Cure's getting angry and shoving. I think this might be Cure's whole style, is just defend, absorb Turtle, and then just go for one big all-in. This time there won't be any base trade. There's only 2 Robos. No Disruptors out, no splash damage. I don't think Hero can fight this. I think Hero has to charge, force a stim, and then run. Yeah, every time he stims, you cannot fight that army. Prism gets in, massive Zealot warp in, tries to get down, but it does get cancelled. There is an argument that you should let those Zealots finish warping in, so he doesn't get to use the warp in at home, because he gets it refunded if you kill the Prism like he did. Big Zealot army comes forward, Bio plus landed Viking plus EMPs, 2-2 versus 2-2, equal upgrades on both sides. Mama's here, and the Vikings are landed on the ground, getting taken out, so the Zealot, Stalkers, Immortals, and a Disruptor behind, actually doing really well. Cloaking Field comes in, Scan has to go down, the Bio army outnumbered, outgunned, and it looks like Hero just overwhelming today, man. Cure can't quite keep up with him. Hero doing such a smooth job in this matchup of dominating the map with a few Stalkers. He's not really committing to straight up Stalker aggression, but he's just getting ahead with good economic greed in the early game, getting the Stalkers out, taking control of the map. And he's been looking fantastic. Hero, a menace in this matchup. He's the guy to beat in PvT. Q is unfortunately not going to be able to get that second place. It looks like Hero... Well, actually, hold on. I'm calling this way too early, man. It's not the first time I've called a game too early today. That supply still very, very close. Hero's got that mining base massively oversaturated on the bottom. Ooh, these libs are a real menace. The Stalkers have to blink into the Marauders. The scan's a little late. Q is so all in. Oh, the Disruptors and the Mothership. I just don't know if he can ever get through the Mothership. And she's actually adding decent damage as well. Disruptor shot smashing the Marauders. Feels like Hero's getting out of control. If you could just take a second to send these workers back to this base. This one's still full mining. That one's still half mining. It's just Marine Marauder, a few ghosts. He is on 61 workers, so the work count's actually not that bad for Cure. But damn, he loses almost all of his medevacs, and that is a very costly maneuver. 3 more medevacs are building. He does have another command center in the main, so he's actually on a 5th command center. Hero's income not drastically different from his right now, but watch him fix this worker count in a moment. Once he does that, I think Hero's just got such momentum in this game. Mothership, 5 kills on her. She also tanks a ton of damage. 600 total hit point pool for her. Equal upgrades for both sides. We'll see who can sneak out an extra upgrade or 2 sooner. You can see the probes transferring off that base. Taking this forward base as well as Hero. Chat says, surely Hero fixes the workers. He did. He did. Hero is one of the least methodical players in the world. He's a vibes gamer. So he kind of just does things intuitively when he feels like, and it works really well because he's so unpredictable. And I think sometimes players make the mistake of prioritizing something too rigidly. They go, I must do this first always. Hero is always willing to drop the standard approach and focus on something else. Goes for the blink forward here. Disruptor flies. Nice Disruptor shots. And a bunch of Marines and Marauders. Great damage on those units. More Zealots are making right now. He's swapped back to Gateway mode, guys. He's got 8 Gateways pumping Zealots, rallying them. And he's actually rallied his army to the front as well, the legend. Disruptor's going forwards. Oh, hold on. Disruptor's looking really, really nice. 3-3's on the way as well. Cannon battery tries to go down on this right side. Army's rotating to the south. Feels like Q has got a decent defensive spot, but without 3-3 coming in, you can tell he's a bit broke. He's got that big Terran army, though. We've seen what EMP, Stim, and Viking spreads can do, but keep in mind there's only 4 ghosts, not that many EMPs. That's going to make it hard. This could turn into a much longer game and even series. Kira's doing a good job of stabilizing, but Kira's just been so bullying. The way, whenever Kira leaves anything sticking out, you can tell Hero doesn't really respect the danger of diving forwards. Like, Kira hasn't punished him enough for those moves to make him worry about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen Clem punish those moves 3 times in a row, and Hero still does them. He's hard to intimidate. Sometimes trying to intimidate Hero is like trying to scare a guy who you meet on the street headbutting a brick wall. And you're like, oh man, you better watch out. If you do this, the police might come and get you. And he's just like, mate, I'm headbutting a brick wall. You think I'm afraid of the legal consequences? My name is Hero. He's got Mothership there. He's got 8 Zealots. That 3-3 timing's huge. Q is arrested in the mid-game. Look, there's no follow-up, no 3-3, no range lib. He's kind of go take the middle base now, which he should have taken earlier, to be fair. But you can tell all of his attention's on his army. The Disruptors are kind of putting him in that high adrenaline mode where Q probably even thinks he's got 3-3. So much has happened in this game. He's kind of lost track of where the upgrades are. 3-3's about to kick in. And Hero just goes in, picks off a few units, throws the Disruptors. Q is going to pull the trigger. Q goes for it. Hero gets stuck. The slow zones, the EMPs, the Disruptors all caught in the open. Oh my lord, only one Disruptor lands. A savage engagement. 3-3 kicks in as his entire army dies. It's a classic anti-timing for Hero, but he does have 14 gateways. He does have 2 robos. He's got Zealots inside the main base as well. Q one last ditch effort here. He's maxed out, but I honestly don't know if he can ever deal with these Zealots on his production. He's going to lose so much popping out of the production. He's going to dive on for the base trade. He sends some units home as well, but these units are going to come back. And this is the problem. You see the Zealots? They're just going to keep killing every unit as it pops out. Once again, Hero getting on his production, causing mayhem. Disruptor from the high ground absolutely ruins a bunch of those units as well. The Disruptors Popping on the high ground, that's always the best thing in a messy game like this. You can see Q is trying to get the hang of it. That disruptor does get focused before it can connect. Meanwhile, Zealots clear up this command center. I think that was a planetary, might have just been overwhelmed by Zealots. Their production getting wrecked. Q has a small squad of units, but that's it. His bio's here, but watch out, another ball coming in from the left. And it's going to take out a Ghost, a Marauder, and a few Marines. Hero making this a really costly attack. And if Hero keeps warping in, which he is, I believe, Zealots and Stalkers, he should be able to overwhelm. He's down on army supply right now, believe it or not. A lot of his production's isolated. Remember, he also has a mothership. He's actually going to recall. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is that a good move? That's an odd choice. Recalls a small set of units here. Hero. I don't know, man. Zealots can't really fight in amongst the production, but Q is kind of moving into the open a little bit. Q trying to get a wedge between, but he's clearing the gateways, which actually opens up the opportunity for Hero to charge on him. Hero picks his moment well. Goes for the charge in the open. Other Zealots and Stalkers coming back from the other side of the map. Oh, 2 medevacs, 3 medevacs go down. 1 medevac escapes. The Disruptor just fired a shot at the medevac. Did you guys see that? Did you see that? Hero gets through in second place in their group. Did you see that? Guys, he just threw a shot at a medevac. This is how you know Hero's a Chad. He's like, I'm going to shoot this at the medevac, brother. Get wrecked, son. Bloody lever. Well played. Hero played really good today, guys. Felt like Q couldn't get out from under his thumb. The openings were too good. He kind of took the lead and ran with it. Beautiful play for Hero. Really well played. GG. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that PiGFest match. If you've been enjoying the tournament and you want to help support us running such a big event that is a gigantic undertaking, please do consider checking out the Patreon. There's a whole bunch of unique perks and merch that you can get over there as exclusive rewards. A special thanks to everyone here who's already supporting. A special thanks to the conductors of the D-Town Express, Pete and N, Dragothar, and Oko H. If you guys want to check it out, there's a link somewhere around where my hand is, as well as down below in the description. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next PiGFest cast. Goodbye and good night.